Hey everyone, it's Rose. I wanted to tell you my fibromyalgia beginning story. Well, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia February of 2012, and it's been a long recovery process. Fibromyalgia, there is no cure, but there are tools that you can implement in your everyday life. There are exercises you can do to make everyday life easier and to feel better. But fibromyalgia is really a day-to-day illness. You may feel great one day, and then the next day, for no reason whatsoever, your muscles are like dead. They hurt so bad that it gets to the point where you cannot move whatsoever. And I know that sometimes it's hard to believe, but it happened to me a year ago. This is how I started to get diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I started waking up and I could not walk at all. It's almost like I had forgotten how to walk. I would try to get up, I would try to stand, and my muscles would just tense up to I could not walk, I could not balance. I got to the point a year ago where I couldn't walk at all. I couldn't write my name. I couldn't even use the computer because my hand was, well, that was part of my arthritis too. Because at the same time I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I got a diagnosis of arthritis as well. Um, but I couldn't even open a door handle, and my muscles were so weak. My motor skills were nothing, and a lot of my motor skills are still bad, but I'm recovering. And I was just in so much pain. Like I was crying. I couldn't even understand life at that point because the pain was just so, it was so unreal. It was just like a, no type of pain I've ever experienced. And every time I go to the doctor, um, then my rheumatologist, he'll repeat like the fibromyalgia test just to see kind of how I'm doing. Fibromyalgia can be very often misdiagnosed um, when sometimes like muscle aches and pains can just be from an injury or from activities, and but when you're living with it on a day-to-day basis, pretty much on the same locations on your body, then it's definitely fibromyalgia, and it's a really hard thing to get diagnosed with. But once you do, then you can work towards solutions trying to reduce pain. Um, let's talk about medicine. Now, there's not that many medicines out there for fibromyalgia. Um, there's one with an L that I can't remember, but I never tried it personally. There's, what is it? It starts with an M. There is naproxen, but naproxen is more like an arthritis medicine, and it's really bad for your kidneys and things. So it's not a wonderful medicine to take either. Prednisone is sometimes even used for fibromyalgia. I use both those. No, naproxen. The naproxen didn't really do too much for me. During the time of naproxen was the time I started not being able to write or use the computer at all, and so that didn't help me at all. Prednisone helped me wonderfully, but the weight gain is just not acceptable. I did a limited small dose of prednisone that you some days you increase dose, and some days you go high up in dose, and then you wean yourself off of it. And then for a while, then I also did just a daily dose that was like 5 milligrams or something like that. And the weight gain is just like, it's not worth it, because with any kind of joint issues or health problems, that is the least thing that you want, is to gain any type of weight. Weight is just bad, and a lot of times I guess you could say, a little bit underweight when I was diagnosed with like fibromyalgia and arthritis and a whole bunch of other stuff that does not matter because we're talking about fibromyalgia in this video. Um, but now with the extra weight that I put on, not only because of the medicines, just because living with any type of illness kind of sometimes can limit your day-to-day mobility. But doctors will start looking at your weight and see that as an issue and say, well, maybe you'll feel better if you lose weight. So you want to avoid gaining weight from any type of medicine to begin with. So prednisone isn't a great medicine. Currently, I am on meloxicam, and meloxicam, I would totally recommend it. It was a wonderful medicine. It helped with my joint pain and my fibromyalgia, and of course, it can't completely take away the pain, but it made the pain completely more manageable and made me be able to do things I wasn't able to do before. There we go. Let's use some proper English here. I also tried Cymbalta. Now, I was put on Cymbalta originally for anxiety because I just have really bad anxiety, but it also is for depression, it's for sleep, it's for fibromyalgia, it's for anxiety, and Cymbalta was a horrible medicine that I actually list as an allergy now. It made me completely vomit everything. Like, I could not keep anything down. It made me feel very alienated. I felt zombified. I felt so depressed when I took the medicine. Now, that's just me. Everybody has different reactions to different medicines. I've heard people's stories that they loved Cymbalta. It was a wonderful medicine for them, but for me, it was a horrible experience. Some natural things I do to reduce pain: I use a cream. It's sort of like Bengay. It's called Soar No More. It's pretty inexpensive and it lasts forever. And it's just a wonderful cream. They have it in a ball format that it's just light liquid, and they also have it in a cream format, and it gives wonderful relief. Ice is, I will tell you this now, ice will make any kind of muscle ache worse. Do not do ice. Ice is a horrible thing. Avoid it at all costs. Heating pads, they worked wonderfully. Some days where I couldn't get out of bed, I would use a heating pad on whatever part of my body was the most sore that day, and it drastically helped me. Those heating patches, like, they pretty much stick on your body. They help for a limited time for me, but for me they get too hot. They get to the point where I can't stand it anymore, and so it's not a good experience for me. Let's see, what else do I use? Bengay is another good sore medicine, but Bengay has like a very strong odor that I don't really like that much, and it's very overwhelming. It can make, if it's close, like if it's on your shoulders, it'll make your eyes water, and I don't want to experience that if I'm already uncomfortable. And yeah, I think those are the main ones that I use. Yeah, and Epsom salt. Well, Epsom salt you have to soak in. Epsom salt is just salt, and you put it in a bathtub, and then you just soak, and you soak in Epsom salt. So it's pretty basic, and that helps a lot. Fizz bubbles, they're at the dollar store, and you put them in, but it's such a waste. Like, for one bath, you put a whole ball full of fizzy stuff in it, and it's not that great. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that completely. Now let's talk about exercises that you can help. Exercises with fibromyalgia obviously is hard because just some days you can't get out of bed, and sometimes your muscles are just so sore and you're so tired. That's another part of fibromyalgia. It just makes you very tired. It makes it so you can't do things for long periods of time. So it makes it so you just get tired out of nowhere. It's just, you're constantly tired. You deal with muscle aches, tiredness, confusion. Some people forget things. I forget things. I don't really think it's because of fibromyalgia, because I didn't really forget. I didn't really have a lot of memory issues when I first was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, but just recently I've had a lot of memory problems. But through my research on facts on fibromyalgia, there's this thing called fibro fog, and it's like this part of your brain, right there, it clears, it has some kind of chemical that makes your memory and things more confusing. I'm not sure what that can be. I know through my fibromyalgia I've experienced depression, And that's because with fibromyalgia, one of the chemical aspects of it is you can lack serotonin levels, and that can be naturally fixed with more exercise, like walking, and or you could use medicines. I'm not too big of a medicine person. Now I take a lot of medicines because of my other illnesses, but I've always been more of the natural type of person. I like to go and look for the natural type first, rather than filling up with medicines. But some people may look at me and say, "What, really?" Because I take a lot of medicines. Um, Talk more about medicines because I forgot a couple. Flexeril is a muscle relaxer, and that works wonderful. The only thing with Flexeril is there's like a lot of side effects, and it's a very strong medicine, and some people can get addicted to it. It's not necessarily a steroid, but people can get addicted to it. You only want to take it very rarely, um, and it makes you very tired. If you take Flexeril, expect to sleep for 3 hours at least after you take it. It's just one of those medicines that you're not going to be able to be active with. So I would recommend it for the days that you can't get out of bed and you don't plan to get out of bed, but I would not recommend it for a daily thing. It's definitely not a daily medicine. It's a as-needed medicine, and it's there's just not much to it. It's just you can't be active, you can't get the things you done. So I'm not sure if that's a wonderful medicine. And yeah, there's tramadol too, but tramadol is more for joints, and some people take tramadol for headaches. It's never helped me for headaches. And yeah, okay, on to exercise. I found that aerobic therapy, like water therapy, aqua therapy, things like that have helped me amazingly. I've done therapy ever since I've got diagnosed because there just was so many things I couldn't do on a day-to-day basis, and yeah, so anyhow, that's what I was going to say. I remember. I'm sorry. Just stay with me for a little bit longer. I used the pool, but then I was just after the pool, after summer, so around August, then the pool got too cold, so then I stopped using the pool. And during that time, I just got worse. I gained weight. Weight, like I said before, is never a good thing. And I gained weight, and my muscles got sore. My range of motion was horrible. I couldn't raise my arm past the shoulder point. I didn't have any range of motion, but now that it is, well, now it's like May, but in March I was able to start swimming again, and now I can almost lift my arm above my head. My muscles feel better, like on a day-to-day basis, because I try to swim daily if I can, and it's just been a wonderful experience for me. Yoga. Now you have to think yoga is an activity that you're stretching out the muscles and you're making your muscles stronger and more flexible. So of course it's going to make your muscles worse. But for a long time goal, yoga is a great alternative because with fibromyalgia, your muscles and your flexibility can go to nothing if you don't use those muscles. But you have to expect to feel sore the next day and to expect that your fibromyalgia is really going to hurt you the next day doing yoga. Walking is a wonderful exercise as well because, like I said before, it boosts the serotonin levels, and serotonin is great for fibromyalgia because a lot of people with fibromyalgia lack the serotonin in their brain, which can cause anxiety and it can cause depression, and serotonin is just the very thing that you need. So walking is a wonderful thing. What else? Eating is very important also with fibromyalgia. If you eat sugary food and very high salty food, the next day you're going to feel horrible. You're going to feel like a truck ran you over. It's just going to feel horrible. But if you get a lot of good food, like nutrition, fruits, vegetables, then you're going to feel much better the next day. and for a long-term thing. Of course, those things people should eat anyhow, but you want to avoid those sweet foods. And you also want to try to eat smaller meals, because along with fibromyalgia you get fatigued a lot. So the more you eat, the more fatigued you're going to feel, and fatigueness lasts for a long time. So fibromyalgia is a very frustrating thing to have, but it can get better if you think day to day, what are the actions I am doing today going to make me feel how are they going to make me feel tomorrow, the actions I do today, then it's going to help you so much. And you just want to stay positive. I was advised by my rheumatologist that you want to avoid those chat rooms for like fibromyalgia, people with fibromyalgia, because a lot of times people with fibromyalgia just get put in a bad place. They aren't positive. They lose hope. They are depressed because they are lacking those serotonin levels. And there's just so many things they can't do, and they're just so much in pain that it just becomes a depression group, basically. And that's something you want to avoid. So I guess I would send that information, like repass that information. I've joined a couple just online groups, but they're not chat groups, but they're a positive group. It's clearly listed. There would be no negativity. If you are in need of help and need somebody to talk to because you're depressed, then call this number here. But overall, it's just a group of other people with fibromyalgia that can give you their tools that they've used in their everyday lives to feel better and get better and stay better. So I guess that's my story. There's so much more to it. Pretty much I just kept working, and now again my muscles are a little bit better, because my muscles were stopping me from having any kind of mobility and freedom, and I couldn't open packages, and now I can. So that I guess through recovering, even though there's no cure, there's just ways for your overall health and being to get better. And I've just felt better, and my fibromyalgia has been better. It's still a day-to-day thing. There's just been some days that I just still can't move, but it gets better. It does. It gets better with medicine and eating healthy and exercise and staying positive. That's the best key here. I guess the best medicine is hope and positivity and working towards that all-time goal of having happiness. So this video is for disabled dreamers. Like, subscribe, comment. You can private message me. I'm here for you, and I hope you're here for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.